Are we live?
Yeah, you live.
About dang time. Well, every week I come in here and I just go ahead and make the assumption that none of you have anything to contribute to the conversation today because I know that's probably the reality. So I just come in here prepared with things in my mind that have happened throughout this past week. And I just hope that maybe some of you will say one or two words.
You know,
because that's what a podcast is meant for, you to talk.
Corn just comes in the office every day just assuming that ain't nobody packed an order. He just comes in there and he assumes, hey, I've got orders to do and ain't nobody done them. And I come in here and I just expect, man, I got stuff I need to do on the computer and Chad ain't done them.
Look, I don't... Look, Blake, none of what you just said makes sense.
Does it make sense to you, Corn?
It makes 100% sense.
Like, we all got our job, and of course we wouldn't expect that anyone else had packed orders because that's what you do.
Well, the other day I took them out there and put them in the back of my truck, and I went in there and took a deuce, and then I ate lunch, and then I went, and nobody had took them orders to the dang post office.
See?
I just knew Chad was going to. I knew he was just walking back and forth down the sidewalk mindlessly, and he would see them in the back of the truck.
That is not a good comparison to the point I was trying to make. The podcast is a joint conversation, a joint effort. Everyone has their own individual roles and responsibilities within the team, except for Chili, of course. He just is here. But when we come to the podcast studio, it's supposed to all be a joint effort, okay?
But anytime someone tries to talk, you just, we ain't talking about that today.
You know what, man? As long as we've been doing the podcast, it's strange to think that somebody might be listening to the 3 of 7 podcast for the first time.
Yeah, there's it's first live, Brian.
I didn't need to know that, Blake.
We do got people on here.
Yeah, I didn't need to know that because I was making the point. I already know that every podcast, there's someone listening for the first time. So if you're listening for the first time, we've been doing this podcast for years and years, okay? Since when, Blake? 2019? So 5 years. Did you hear Blake over there?
Yep.
So it's changed a lot over the years, and it's my podcast. So you're welcome that I'm letting you listen to it. It's my podcast, and it changes because I change. All right? These other guys and girls I have in here with me, you're not going to get much out of them today, but they're here. Every now and then, one of them will say something that will hopefully spark something in you.
I have several topics online ready to go, just so you know.
Well, you ought to have several topics because it's been months since you've been on the podcast.
You guys don't allow women.
It's literally been months since you've been on the podcast, baby. I've told you multiple times to come up here and share that microphone with Blake.
Well, poor Blake's having to share with me. That sucks. Look at this. I'm having to give him this signal. Y'all can't see it. Every time I want to use it, I have to hold this up by Blake's face so I can talk into the mic.
Well, I think that's racist.
Oh, is it?
Well, that's sexist. It's a good thing, Biscuit, because now that you're on the show, you can have the mic. Blake can answer emails and also look things up as we talk about them in case we need some sort of fact check or something.
No.
He can look things up.
I'm not doing that.
Nope.
So your hosts here on the podcast, we've got the priest Cornbread. We have Pope Chili sitting over here. Hey, Pope Chili.
Well, I'm not really a host. I'm more of a recurring guest.
That's a good point.
Janitor.
Real treat for you guys today. We do have the beautiful Biscuit on the podcast today. Hey, Biscuit.
Hey, guys.
So you guys have been asking, y'all been asking where Brooke is been, and she's just been refusing to come on the podcast.
That's not true.
She's here.
That's a lie.
She's here for
that's
you guys
today. That's a
today.
fat, big, juicy lie.
So Biscuit is my wife, and then I have my little brother Blake, the tech guy. The bishop, behind.
You're looking good on there, Blake.
There, counting the money. You know, I'm not even going to say that.
Oh,
So those are your hosts and recurring guests and everything here on the podcast, and so we've been doing it for a long time. The reason that we're able to keep coming back and do the show and host the show, the reason how much money worth of equipment is in here, Blake? I mean, for real. These cameras, soundboard, computers, how much money we got in here? Count it up.
No, nobody cares about that.
Count the
No,
money.
I'm making a point.
Count the money.
No listeners care about how much you spend
You
on
think it's
equipment.
only 10 grand? No way.
Maybe 12.
250,000. You
We got
idiot.
$100,000 worth. That's not near embellished enough for him. Sorry, but about 50,000. Probably about 50,000.
We got $50,000 of equipment to put this show on for you guys.
It's only 10.
The reason that we're able to do the podcast is there's two reasons, all right? It's because of our patrons. So if you want to support the show, you can join us on Patreon where we post exclusive content and we host a live call 3 Sundays a month on Zoom called Resurrected, where Blake and I teach from the Bible. And so our patrons and also our partners, all right? And so one of our partners, we only have a few, but one of our partners is Barbell Apparel. And it's an apparel company, Barbell Apparel. They make fitness apparel, but they also make jeans, nice button-up collared shirts. It's pretty much a one-stop shop to get any clothing that you need for both your fun fitness lifestyle and your, going out to eat or going to work lifestyle. Dude, they're coming out. When is the covert pant coming out?
Friday.
Friday. They have a new pair of pants coming out on Friday called the Covert Pant. We tested those this past weekend before the ROP course, and they really did an outstanding job with those pants, man. Yeah. We got out and did some shooting. We did some moving, carrying, doing the sandbag toss, squats, all kinds of stuff. And the awesome thing about Barbell Apparel is they make their clothes out of materials and they cut them in a way that they allow you to move. Even their jeans have some stretch to them. So they allow you to move and they don't bind you all up and rub you up and make you feel like crap, all right?
And they make your butt look really good.
I don't know about mine.
It does. It makes your non-existent butt look much better.
And they make you look like you got a butt.
But the women's jeans, especially, wherever they put the pockets, is very strategic. It looks nice.
They make women's clothing too?
Yeah, they make all sorts of women's stuff.
Dang.
Their sports bras are the best.
Heck yeah, man.
The best.
Yeah, I wouldn't make women's clothing personally.
Just like you don't let women on the podcast. Kind of like that.
I prefer, okay, Barbell Apparel. Check them out at barbellapparel.com. If you're looking for a good pair of shorts this summer, also check out the Adapt shorts. They have a line of those with the Be Hard When It Gets Hard logo on there. Really great pair of shorts to get out and, they're pretty versatile, as a matter of fact, running, lifting, or out doing yard work. They're a pretty versatile pair of shorts. Cornbread's usually got them on all the time. You got anything to add on that, Chili?
We got a video coming out this weekend showing off the new Covert pants. Look out for that on Saturday.
Yep. So barbellapparel.com. Check them out, guys. There'll be a link in the description. They also stand behind their products. They got a money-back guarantee. Lifetime also on their jeans, right, Blake?
Oh, yeah.
So we love them, man. Good people. Thank you, guys. Speaking of videos, Chili, why did that video I posted yesterday go so off the rails, dude? I didn't even think it was a good truck talk. It's just titled The Draft.
Yeah, I do like when you get creative like that. I know why it did well.
Why did it do well? Because I can't figure it out.
Well, see, I will give a little bit of insight, I'm talking about a smidge to the public on the YouTube algorithm. Okay, Google Trends plays into it, right? But YouTube algorithms push a narrative. And the narrative right now, whether any of you realize it or not, is reinstituting the military draft. Not many people know that's happened all over the world. Countries that don't even have a draft have now instituted it. Countries like America do this little dog and pony circus show to where we already have one, where people that are when you turn 18, you select anyway. You
Register
for the draft anyway. But they put this bill out that's basically just stating what already happens pretty much. There's a few more tweaks to it, but that's basically the point of the bill was to put this back in everybody's mind. It's literally on every news thing that I see now, and I don't even look at the news, but if you see stuff pop up, it's like, oh, the draft, this is what would America do with the draft? You could actually go back months, and there was like opinion polls and stuff like CNN, Fox News, saying, does America need to do something with the draft, reinstitute this, that, whatever. All it is preparing you for a conflict. It's preparing you for this to happen, It's just getting it in your mind. It's because what's going to happen is it's going to do opinion polls, gauge the public's thought on the draft, and then, based off of that information, put out propaganda and news to shift it in the direction that they want it to be shifted. So they get a gauge on the opinion of the masses to the best of their ability right off the bat, and then start selecting what they feed people with through things like the YouTube algorithm.
So they can normalize the idea of a draft.
100%.
Yeah.
So why was, even though you said whatever you said about the draft, why did that get played? Because it puts it in front of people. It's what needs to be talked about right now. It's what needs to be in the public's mind.
So I was just playing to the agenda of the whoever the CIA propaganda chief is.
Well,
right now
to a
at this
degree,
time.
anybody who's talking about the draft, they're good with it. They just want that conversation talked about. They want conflict talked about, military talked about, the draft.
Wow.
Thank God I'm too sickly to even go. So if they select me, I can get a waiver.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't take you. No. Ain't no way in heck, son. You ain't got an ounce of testosterone in you, dude.
No, it's ridiculous.
I've
got so many ways out.
I didn't know the draft was really popping that much in the news and stuff. The only way I knew about that was when you come over to the house the other day, Chili, and you was worried to death that you was gonna get drafted. That's the only way I knew about it.
Well, I don't know why you'd paint it like that. I wasn't worried at all. I'm blind, have low T. I got bone spurs.
Yep. You was more worried than corn in a swimming pool.
I have
about that draft.
I have jaundice.
Oh yeah.
I have recurring Lyme disease.
What is the thing when you're?
I'm a type 3 diabetic.
Is that the thing where you're yellow sometimes? Because
jaundice.
Yeah. I do notice that a lot of times on especially on the weekends you're looking a little yellow.
I've had about 10 bouts of gout in my lifetime. Yeah. Select me as if. I got small thumbs.
It is strange for those of you who do watch YouTube. It is strange that you could make the best piece of content and it might not get no views. I mean, you can put as much as you want to put into it and just have so much value in there, but then you can make a piece of crap content that was just along the lines of the topic that was being promoted by the propaganda chiefs, and then it just blows off the rails. It's a silly game. It's a game, is what it is.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, the channel's over 400,000 subscribers.
Isn't that
right?
crazy?
So we're playing the game well.
Seems like yesterday we were running on a treadmill for 100,000.
Yeah,
and now it's 400,000. It's crazy. It's just growing and growing. We just doing our thing.
That is, man. When we hit a mill, we're gonna have to do something big.
Well, I agree.
We hit 1 million, we're gonna have to do something big.
About $500,000.
Nah, $500,000. That don't count for nothing.
That's chump change.
Yeah, you gotta do something big just on the milestones where they send you those plaques, Chili.
Yeah, well, that's 100,000 and $1 million.
Yeah. So $1 million.
We'll get a gold one when we get $1 million if we do.
What is there one above that too?
Oh, there's several above it now.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's one.
One's platinum, isn't it?
Yeah, one's for like 10 million, then one's, I don't know, 50
Wow.
million, 100 million. Ain't nobody got that many.
Wow.
Except for like 2 people. But
Wow. Good night. Okay. Also in the news at 307 Project, Cornbread, at the age of 60 years old, swam for the first time today.
that's big.
Cornbread learned to swim
That's real big.
in an hour at the age of 60 years old.
I wouldn't say I was swimming
60.
in an hour. I mean, I wouldn't say
I
I
look-
can swim now.
Corn. You could go get in that pool and swim across
You
the pool.
swam across the pool. What else would you call it?
Well, I get, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, you
You're right.
swam across the pool
Yeah.
3
At
times.
47 years of age.
Yeah, but you're really 60. You've been hard on yourself, Bubba. So congratulations, Cornbread, for learning how to swim this morning.
Thank you.
Who taught you, Corn?
Chad, his instructor ability is impeccable.
What did y'all start with? What was your first exercise to learn how to swim?
Flutter kicks.
With the kickboard?
Yeah, with the kickboard. And let me say, that kickboard, there ain't much to that.
Well,
I agree. Man, I agree.
I mean, when I grabbed that thing, I was like, what? Like, I was imagining something my torso laid upon. You know what I mean?
Well, let me just say, the funniest thing happened out there. Corn would swim short ways across the pool, and he would get him a mighty kick, and he would get about 6 inches from the wall.
Put it
And
in reverse.
every single time he would be still for about 15 seconds, and then he would start going backwards.
he would.
He
He
would
really
start
would.
moving backwards, and Chad would have to grab his belt and pull him over to the wall.
I don't know.
I've never in my. It was like he was hanging like something he was hanging up on. I don't know.
I thought it was a mental block.
I don't know if it was his dude or.
Whoa.
Good night.
It was.
Not Blake.
Yeah, that pull.
I don't know if
I'm
that
not
was a
gonna
little
say
more
it.
shallow on that end.
Now, Blake.
He high centered.
That was crazy,
Whoa,
man.
man.
I don't.
really
I-
happened.
He was kicking hard enough with his. He had his kickboard out front, and he was kicking hard enough with his legs to keep his legs and his torso up off the ground. But somehow, baby, he started going backwards. I'm not kidding you.
That's crazy. I feel like if you kicked your legs in like a roundabout motion instead of up and down, you might get some reverse action. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you're kicking like this
Yeah.
instead of like this, you might.
He was kicking every which way you could think to kick. Trust me. So, he was. Were you nervous this morning about that?
I was slightly nervous, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I done looked at the pool when me and Chili was there and counted in my head how long I thought it would take me to walk on the bottom. That was my no panic strategy right there. If I was to sink, I can walk the bottom of this pool and hold my breath for 30, 45 seconds.
So you've made it 47 years without ever being in a situation where you've had to swim.
Yeah, that's why I don't get that swimming's a life skill. Like, seriously.
I dream too. Man,
But
I
you've
agree
been
too.
offshore fishing, you've been
Gosh.
lake fishing, you've never fallen in, you've never been in a shipwreck or a boat wreck.
Alligator hunting. No, never.
So when we've had these discussions about swimming in the past, you've just silently agreed with me, but you just didn't throw your support behind me.
As far as what, that it's not a life
Right.
skill? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just irresponsible to do those things and not know how to swim.
Oh,
Corn.
come on now.
It's
Well, all right,
irresponsible.
so can you fly like a bird?
Yeah,
Like, seriously,
Yeah.
can any of y'all fly like a bird?
with my
If I have a
parachute.
parachute.
Yeah.
All right, do you have one when you go hop on Delta?
Well, yeah.
No, you don't. Yeah. So how irresponsible of y'all to get in an airplane? That is ridiculous.
Well, I've only done.
You
that a
ought to
few
be
times.
ashamed.
I've only done that a few times.
You know what I'm
But a
saying?
human is able to swim. A human is not able to fly. So
So why are you even up there?
But see, look,
That's
you ain't even
that's
learned to
irresponsible.
You're
That's a
able
good
to
point.
swim. You just ain't learned it.
That's the one.
That's a good point.
Do you can you fly?
That's actually a good point, CB.
It is.
My goodness.
Well, so initially, after we spent maybe 5 minutes with that kickboard, I was trying to get you to go ahead and kick across the pool in through the deep end there.
Yeah.
And you won't having it.
No,
You kind of ruined my morning. We were making a video. And the reason I was trying to get you to go ahead and kick across there is because I know you wasn't going to make it, and then I was going to save your life there on the video.
Well, I think that's a life skill that's above and beyond making the decision that I could possibly die, so I'm not going to do it.
I was right there. Dude, you think I was going to save you.
I don't doubt your saving abilities. I don't doubt them. But I say we use those when we absolutely have to. Let's not tempt fate like that.
Corn.
Let's bust that out when you've got – if you want to practice them, we'll go buy a dummy and throw that joker in the pool, and you can practice with the dummy. We ain't going to practice with me.
Well, it would have made for a much more exciting video.
I agree.
When you picture how you die swimming in that pool, what is it? Do you picture yourself just sinking and like not being, or is it like flailing and your head's just below the water? Like what is it?
I pictured one time I took a big old gulp of that dang water. That's how I pictured. I just inhale so much water that it fills my lungs, and they just ain't no coming back from it, even if I'm out of the pool.
Oh, so it doesn't even have to do with going underneath the water, really?
No. Ain't there some way you can drown by just taking in too much water? Like
drowning.
Yeah.
No.
That's a thing for kids.
Is it?
I wouldn't call that
Yeah, that's
dry
a thing
drowning.
for kids where they like
Sounds wet to me.
they can swim and get out and be fine, and then end up like drowning later on or something.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody's ever done that, that would really tick me off. I mean, that would really tick me off. So I don't think that's happened before.
So, but what you're saying is you, well, I will say this. He didn't try to pump me up like, oh, no, you can do it. You're going to make it. He didn't do that. He just said, swim to the other side. So, so that was your plan. So anyone that takes Chad up on his $20,000 an hour fee to learn to swim, just remember that. Just remember that.
Since I have a new job, dry drowning is a non-medical term used for acute lung injury that can occur after someone inhales water through their nose or mouth during an underwater accident. The water causes the vocal cords to spasm and close, blocking the airways and making it difficult to breathe and make you die.
Make you die.
Yeah.
Sounds like a valid concern you had, Corn.
Yeah. The water ingestion.
So Corn was smart enough not to go across that pool until he felt like he was ready, and he cheated me out of the opportunity to save his life. I mean, we could literally be talking about on the podcast right now how I saved your life this morning.
Well, I'm glad that's not what
That's
we're
what we
talking
could have
about.
been talking about. But now we're talking about the fact that you learned how to swim, not that I saved your life.
Well, what was your saving plan? This is what I pictured it as being, that I'm going to get maybe a fifth of the way to the deep, and I'm going to start, and I just pictured him pulling that thing. I think he wanted to pull that live.
Oh, I would have popped your personal
I think that's what he was
flotation
wanting to
device.
do, was pull that. That's what he was really
That's the
wanting
first
to
thing
do.
I would have done.
I don't think he was wanting to really save me. He was wanting to pull that for the video.
He wanted some drama.
That's what
That's all he wanted.
That's it.
And he was willing to risk your life to get it, Corn.
Did you not? I mean, in the Navy SEALs, man, that is a course that I have to pass. Is life saving in the water.
I get it.
I'm certified to save your life in there.
Oh, it's probably expired.
No, it sticks with you the rest of your life.
That his life vest, he pulls it and just dust blows out and nothing happens.
Well, and that's what I was like. How long has this thing been in your gear room? Like,
Is
that
that
thing
was
even
a proper,
reliable?
It was a properly maintained PFD. Yes, it's reliable.
how old was the CO2 cartridge?
Oh,
A couple of years.
Not old. Not old.
A couple of years.
No, not old. No.
Chili don't know how old
Yeah, he
that
does.
freaking CO2
Matter of fact, I know exactly how old
Yeah,
it
he
is.
How?
remembers
I
when we
bought it with Chad
Yeah.
at the
Those
canoe
things
house.
were expensive as crap, man.
They were.
Those things were expensive. Anyways, so Cornbread's legs were wore out after working on his kick for about, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour or something.
Yeah.
And he did. He started backing up a little bit because his legs were wore out. And so I said, well, okay, well, we're just going to digress from this point. So I'm just going to show Cornbread what he's going to do with his hands when he is actually ready to try to swim for the first time. And I'm just going to show him this so that he can be thinking about it until his next swimming lesson. So I showed him what he needed to do with his hands for basically a breaststroke. You hear me, boo-boo? And so I showed him that, and he just took off swimming. Like, I showed him what to do with his hands, and he did it a few times, and then he just took off swimming.
Like he had done it before.
Dang, Corn.
Yeah, so I
You know what he looked like when he was swimming? Have you ever seen a seahorse swim? How they're pretty much vertical, but they do move forward. I thought he was a seahorse for a minute.
Dad
treading
buns.
water in a forward direction.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because then he was swimming, but his brain had not wired itself to do the hand motion and the kick motion at the same time. So he would do the hand motion because he felt that's what was keeping him above the water the best, and he'd kick about once every 30 seconds, just one kick. And but nonetheless, once he did that, he did go all the way from one end to the other of the pool, right through the deep end, boo-boo. 3 times.
Were you scared?
I was nervous. I wouldn't say I was scared. I was definitely nervous. It's something about when I watched you do it take off, like it just made sense. Like, okay, if I do that, I'm telling you, that kickboard's junk. If I do that, I can tell how my torso is going to stay up.
Yeah.
The kicking's still really it's not even a mental block. It's like when I start doing it, it's like my brain's like, no.
Uh-huh.
Just do your arm.
That's a mental block.
Yeah.
If I get the times I felt like I was getting a good kick on my right foot, my toes would start doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Your toes will start doing what?
They would start being like a spider.
What? You can move your toes independently of one another?
Like a spider?
I wasn't doing it. My foot was, and then
No, you were.
my legs would just be like, all right, that's enough.
Moving his toes like
That's
a
that
seahorse.
accessory kick. He was also kicking his toes.
Moving his toes like a... moving them like a
Hey, he had
seahorse.
10 little mini legs kicking.
Oh, man.
Wait, next time we just need to train Corn just to put his legs out stiff and just kick with his toes. Like 10 little mini legs.
You can move them
And
independently
just be slapped
on my right
stiff-legged.
on your right foot.
My left foot wasn't
That's
doing
why
that.
you kept going. That's why you kept going sideways like
You
that.
were veering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, you know what though, Corn, aside from the fact that it is really cool that you now know how to swim for the first time in 60 years. Aside from that, learning something new like that is good for your brain, dude.
Yeah.
As we get older and we kind of get settled into life and we kind of just know how to do the things that we need to do for our given lifestyle, like whether it's, we know how to shoot. We know you don't really know how to shoot yet, but I know how to shoot. We know how to run and walk and lift weights and do our tasks, for work and stuff like that. And so your brain just stops getting exercised. And your brain's just like a big muscle. It's pretty much, you have to work it, And so it's good for your brain this morning to have to be like, what the crap is going on, man? And to make these connections and to work out what you're thinking and what your brain's telling your body to do and to make it all work out, you know?
Well, Brooke, isn't that called neuroplasticity?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, in a similar vein of that, since this feller has sent me this $2 pistol, has sent me this guitar over here, Brooke and I are actually talking about starting some guitar lessons, aren't we, Boo Boo?
I'm either doing that or jujitsu. I've got to make up my mind this week.
I thought you was about to say starting a band.
No. Hey, Corn, somebody said, talking about you swimming, they said, hold upright quick. Got to eat this donut before PT test. I just wanted you to
Me
know.
no comprende.
So yeah.
Womp, womp.
Yeah, that was
was a
lame.
dud. Yeah,
that
my
was
bad.
lame, Boo Boo.
My bad.
You know, if you keep on with that, you might not get invited back. There's no guarantee you'll get invited back.
Dang.
I'm not engaging with his negativity today.
Corn,
just
what
so
song
everybody
were we
knows.
just singing earlier?
The New South.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hand me that guitar. I need to sing that real quick. Cause
I don't think you need lessons.
yeah.
Isn't this a copyright issue?
We ain't got nothing to do with that.
So Brooke and I are starting guitar lessons. All right, how does that song start again, Cornbread?
Well, it's
Last
late
fall
at
we
night.
elected the man from Plains.
Plains.
And there's
Lots of talk about a great big change.
The Atlanta.
Land of Braves, they still lose too many games. But the New South, thank God, is still the same.
Now my Boston girl.
No, I want to get into the good part. What's the good part?
The chorus?
You want
Yeah.
the chorus? The New South is still the same.
Same, and I'm dang glad of it. I don't want no little old Danish rolls. I must have ham and grits. And my woman does look good in her t-shirt, standing in the Georgia rain. 'Cause the New South, thank God, is still the same. So I wanted to play that for y'all this morning.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I wanted to do that for y'all this morning because Brooke and I are starting guitar lessons soon.
A band.
Mainly for the reason of building, exercising our brain. So thank you, Corn, for inspiring me to do that.
Absolutely.
And thank you, $2 Pistol, for sending me that custom guitar and inspiring me to learn how to play the guitar.
Us. Has my name on
It's
it.
a group guitar, right? Like we all, isn't my name on it too?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
So we
ours.
all collectively, and
That
Blake's
guitar
name.
was sent to me. Y'all's names are on it because y'all are my best friends.
No.
I think
the
Shaky
package
Legs-
said to 3 of 7 project.
And Shaky
It was
Legs
sent
is
to
on
3
it
of 7
too.
project, and our names are on it.
Y'all's names are on it because y'all are my best friends.
I'll start a list and hang it on the office door, and if you want to use the guitar, you sign it out, and then we'll sign it back in.
like that.
Yeah, I'll set that up.
Look, man, in the band, you can be the lead guitarist.
Well, I'm going to be the... Actually, you know what? Cornbread might need to be the lead singer.
Oh, definitely.
Because
He's lead singer.
he
You're
re-
lead guitarist. Blake is clearly drums. I'm harmonica, and Brooke really needs to play a variety of instruments
Yeah,
if she's
she's-
willing.
No, I think Blake's the sound guy.
No, I'm starting the piano. So
Who's
if
gonna
we
gonna play drums?
we need the keys. You know, Corn might sit on one of them drums you hit with your hand.
Look, Blake, we sing country music, Bubba. We're not putting piano in our songs.
Well,
There's piano in country music.
Yeah, we're
Blake's
not.
the
You remember
drummer.
Ronnie Millsap?
Yeah.
Blake's the drummer. Brooke needs to
You ever
play
heard
the
of
steel
Joe Diffie?
guitar.
Yeah.
Steel guitar. Yeah, that would be fun.
I like singing too, though. I might do backup
You're,
backup
like, you're more of a
vocals.
tambourine type.
That is true.
Give me a triangle.
Yeah.
Thanks, Corn.
I play the harmonica.
I like the harmonica.
I play the
man.
harmonica.
I like that.
What about the juice harp? That metal thing they put in their mouth and they go.
I have one of those.
You got a juice harp? Then why was you shaking your head like I don't know?
No, I was shaking my head like I ain't playing that. I'm playing the harmonica.
I got you.
So good job today, Cornbread.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you working with me.
You're welcome.
You did good. You swam today. I mean, it really don't seem like that's registered with you because you just keep denying that you
Well,
swam.
I'm thinking if you can swim, you would be able to stand on the side of the boat and just like gloop out and just check me out, then back to the boat. And
Now you're talking about swimming for recreation.
Yeah.
We're not learning to swim for recreation, Bubba.
Well, like, okay, you could also just say that's just a different level. You could also say, well, if you can swim, you should be able to get in the dang Olympic pool and start just turning over laps. Well, no, I can't do that.
Well, so I'm thinking to myself, being on the Swanee River and the kayak going gloop gloop.
You would make it.
I don't know. Might have to pull that cord, Jack.
Next YouTube video, y'all go to the beach down there and get a kayak and test this. Flip Corn over and
drills.
help him save his
Now,
life.
Chad's done proved that he has something other planned in his head. Then we're not like on the same page when it comes to safety.
Well, they've got that log out there, the barrier log that them other turtles get up on. And so if you got tired, you could just get up on that turtle log.
Well, what my goal is, Cornbread, is to get you to the point in the pool where you can jump into the pool, into the deep end, and jump in and then get your head back above water and swim to the other side. That's the goal we need to hit.
Right.
All right?
That makes sense.
So we got a couple more lessons. But whenever you're ready, you can try it, because if you don't make it, I'm going to be there to save you. All right?
Okay.
All right, outstanding. Well, we kicked off the ROP course, the Rite of Passage. We kicked off the first course of the year this past weekend with the ROP Team 6. If you don't know what the Rite of Passage is, it's really simple. It's basically 24 hours of continuous movement through the mountains here in North Georgia. All you have to do is eat, sleep, and move. I mean, I always say that. Eat. You can sleep while you're walking, but you don't have to sleep. You have to eat, drink, and move for 24 hours. And we take teams out once a month, at least during the summertime, and we do that. All the courses are probably already full, huh, Chili?
Yeah.
September's full?
Yeah, there may be a few more invites going out, but, some last minute whatever. But, yeah, it's they're all full.
Okay.
But it's 2024.
So that's what the Rite of Passage is. We kicked this course off last year, and it's really, really helped a lot of people. And I think it's going to do the same thing this year. It's extremely simple, but it gets really, really hard. And that's where all the gold's at, is when it gets hard. So this was actually, this past weekend was the first ever 3 of 7 project training mission that I wasn't able to be on the entire time. Now, I was out there the whole time, but I wasn't actually with the team the entire time because I have a dang blood clot in my leg. First ever since the inception.
Yeah.
And, man, I'll tell you what, that was hard for me, dude. I was thinking the whole time, as hard as the ROP course is for me as an instructor, because y'all might not know it, but that course is hard for us as instructors. I mean, heck, Blake did one and decided he refuses to even do another one. So
That's not true. I was going to do it this weekend.
well, yeah, out of pure necessity. You would have
yeah, I mean-
you would have complained about it for the next 6
Did
months.
I complain at all?
No. And he failed miserably several times at running support. So you definitely.
I'm not a good support guy.
It is playing to Blake's strengths to run the support because you weren't capable of that.
Yeah, I'm not a very good support guy. There was one station resupply point where they came in and Cornbread and me, we just weren't even. We didn't have anything set out.
Now, what would have happened if I wouldn't have had that set up?
Ooh, buddy.
It would have been bad.
Oh, that would have been bad.
I might do that.
Blake reveled in it though.
I might do that.
I'm your teammate member, so I will take the Cornbread and me weren't ready, because that is all in all reality. I could have pitched a fit and said, no, we got to get this stuff up. But I asked numerous times, shouldn't we get it ready? And as Chad was laying in the midst of all those pizzas, and Brooke can
15
attest
of
to
them.
that, in the van, he's like, no, they got a long ways to go, Bubba. Just relax, Bubba. Go get you some rest, Bubba.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
can hear it.
You also told me to chill. You told me to chill. I was like, I need to set everything up. I'm going to start. And you said, Brooke, chill.
That's right. Let's not get Chad wound up. Chill. That's right.
So yeah, man. So out of all the ROP courses I've done, I was thinking over the weekend. I was like, man, this is the hardest rite of passage course that I've ever been a part of. And it was hard for me because I wasn't able to be out there with everybody for the whole time. And you know what I realized, man? I think that this is true. I think that these training missions that we do, and especially the ROP course, I think that they are probably as much for me as they are for the people that show up and do them. I never realized that before. Does that even make any sense to you? Like that course, the way we run it during the summer, once a month, I get as much out of it, and it's as much for my own satisfaction to be out there doing something difficult like that with awesome people and being part of that team that develops. It's as much for me as it is for them. I never understood that, man. I always thought I'm just out there doing this purely for the students, to pour into them and to provide this experience for them. And, but I realized this weekend that's not true, man. It was really, really difficult for me to support the mission from a different angle. I'll tell you what. Y'all were probably worried about me, weren't you, Chili?
In what sense?
Yeah, whatever. I just know you were probably worried about me.
Not really. I mean, you were fine. It was normal, a normal struggle. It's probably good for you.
Oh, it was definitely good for me.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about you.
Yeah, it was definitely good for me.
What were you worried about, Blake?
I was worried he wasn't going to have no snacks. Of course.
Well,
Because definitely the easier thing for me would have been to have been out there the whole time. That would have definitely been the easier thing. So, yeah, it was challenging. But I think another cool thing that came out of that mission, and the fact that physically it wasn't safe for me to go and do that right now because of this blood clot in my leg. I think another really good thing that came out from it, other than the realization that I had of how much I personally get out of the training missions that we run, which is encouraging to me. The other thing is just proving that the missions that we run are solid in and of themselves. Like, they're not solid because I'm there. They're solid because they're designed and executed in a way that they're going to do what they are designed to do with or without me. And so, yes, if I'm there, I bring a unique voice to the mix, but we all do that. We all bring a unique voice, a unique style of instructing, a unique style of mentorship to that environment, right? But the course itself is going to accomplish what it needs to accomplish. If any one of us happens to not be there, it's still going to do the work that we want it to do. And I just thought that was a really good, I've always known that in a way, but it was a really good just proof that, hey, the course was 100% as impactful as any other course we've ever ran without me being able to be there the whole time. And that was good for me to see that. And it was, I think, also good for the people who were there to realize that. I think it was good on both ends. Social media and YouTube and all this stuff, it creates a form of man worship. Whether you think that you're part of that or not, a lot of people sign up for the missions that we do to come and be and learn from me, to be around me and learn from me, right? They don't understand, like, no, this is way bigger than just little old Chad. This is way bigger than me. And not everybody has designed their brand and their business that way. If you guys listen to the podcast here, have you ever wondered why the podcast is called the 3 of 7 podcast and not the Chad Rite podcast? Look at almost every other podcast. What's it named after? It's named after the main host of the show, right? Almost every other podcast. Our podcast is completely unique in the sense that it's not the Chad Rite podcast. It's the 3 of 7 podcast. The same with the YouTube channel. Look at every other YouTube channel. Most of them are named after the main personality on the channel. Ours is not. It's called the 3 of 7 project YouTube channel. And so we've made an effort on our end to really try to minimize this. I know a lot of you guys don't like the word I'm using, this idea of people like worshiping another person.
They don't
or
like it 'cause that's what they're doing.
Idolizing another person. Like, we've made an effort on our end to try to kind of curtail that just in the title of everything that we do, but to actually be able to show people like, hey, you might have came here because you wanted to be, you wanted to learn from Chad Rite, but I'm going to show you came here for the wrong reason.
Well,
you came here to complete this mission.
Booby, but like the ROP course, like most of our courses, you dreamed them up and you designed them with your, like, so they're still getting, even if you aren't present the entire time, they're still getting training that you dreamed up based on your history and your experiences.
Yeah. True. So the ROP course Team 6, we only had one quitter, which was surprising. We had 25 start, right? 20. No, we had less than that.
23 started.
23. Yeah. We had 23 start. We only had one quitter.
2 did not finish.
We had one quitter and one heat injury.
Yeah, 2 did not finish. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that was good. I mean, that's a testament to that team. When you bring that many people out to do something that difficult. I mean, the last course we ran last year in October, what did we have? Probably 50% quit?
Yeah,
50% of the team?
In October, yeah, it was roughly 15, 16 out of 26. Yeah.
Yeah. So this team only had one quitter and one heat injury. That heat was brutal, man. I was actually surprised that we only had one heat injury. I thought for sure as soon as that one student overheated, I thought, well, here we go. We're moving into the hottest part of the day. It's 11:30 from now till about 5, 6 p.m. We're going to have a few of these to deal with.
They had enough hoist on hand, though, that we didn't have that problem.
They did. They did. They did things right. They stayed hydrated. They just did the things that we asked them to do, and they were able to get through it. So I was tickled to death about that. Any observations you guys had from the ROP course this past weekend?
My main one was, and I talked about it in the after actions report, they did not complain any that I heard. I was really surprised, especially in that heat and then sections where the tree canopies opened up real wide, and then on the road, man, that asphalt was no joke, man. No complaining at all. I was really surprised.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason they did as well as they did, because they chose not to complain.
Yeah.
For sure.
That was my biggest observation.
I've had a question for you ever since you said that you realized how much you normally take away from all of the courses personally. Well, what did you take away from this one that was different, if anything?
You know, that's a good question, man. I've had Brooke was hitting me with questions like this yesterday. I've had so much going on that I'm at this little season of life that I'm in. I'm just moving through these things, and she's asking me, like, what are you taking away from these things? And I'm like, I'm actually just trying to get through them. And then once I get out the other end, hopefully I can begin to process what my takeaways, what I should have learned, or what I learned from these things, and to be able to articulate them. For me, I'd say as of now, my biggest takeaway has been the fact that the missions and the work that we do is as much for me as it is for people that we work with. Mm-hmm. Like, that's huge for me, because it changes my outlook on everything that we do. It really does. It's like, because then it becomes, okay, we're doing these missions for these people, but the knowledge that I'm actually getting as much out of it as they are, it becomes less and less like work. It feels less and less like work. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it just encourages me to keep going and to keep doing what I'm doing, and to not get tired of doing what I'm doing, because I know that if I stopped doing this, that it ain't going to be good for me. You know what I mean? So I need to keep doing this that I'm doing for the people who are coming out to get better, and so that I can get better at the same time. And just to know that the work that we do is such a huge part in my own personal development is tremendous. So as of now, that's definitely my biggest takeaway. And my second takeaway is that I definitely need to learn how to be on the support side a little better. Because I ain't never crewed nobody at a race or nothing. I'm always the one in the mix, like doing the thing, the main thing, you know, which the main thing don't happen without all the other things. Like, you have to have support element out there on the ROP course. So, like, being able to see that side of it and realizing how important it is and how much work goes into it. I mean, there's a lot of, you don't stop when you're running support for the Rite of Passage. You don't freaking stop, man. Like, you're going, you're running back and forth. You're getting food. You're topping everything up. You're setting up. You're taking down. You're moving to the next location. I mean, it's constant, man. And I need to work on being better at that. And I've always known that serving other people in that way is a weakness of mine. I want to be doing the main thing. But so that's something that would be good for me to lean into. Like, even if it's just crewing somebody at a race or something, you know? Because that's a delving into a whole new aspect of that selfless nature for me. You know, I can't be out there with you, but I'm going to support you to the highest possible level that anyone could possibly support you. And to support another person, you have to put yourself aside, right? And my own desire to want to be out there. Yeah. I'm just not good at that, man.
Yeah. Well, it may take a lot, because I ain't good at that either. I mean, the first time I'd ever crewed anybody was you at Cocodona.
Yeah.
First time I'd ever paced anybody was Blake at Georgia. Well, you at Cocodona, and then Blake with Georgia Jewel later that year. And I mean, the same thing with me is like I suck at that. I mean, suck at it, and then it's due to selfishness, and like I think that's what you have. That's good to do those things, like when we did those races and stuff, but. That don't change it. You got to keep doing it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that ain't gonna fix nothing. But I think that maybe that's what you feel like you need to do.
Yeah.
Go crew Blake at Cocodona, I guess.
Yeah, anticipating the needs of other people.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't do that. Anticipating the needs of other people and trying to stay ahead of those, and making sure that they have anything and everything that they think they need, and anything and everything that they actually need that they don't even know they need.
Yeah.
Like that's when you can say you're really good at supporting other people. Sometimes you might have to tell the person, no, this is what you need. Like I can see it. You can't see it because you're in the midst of it, but I can see it, and I'm going to make sure you get that thing. Right? And I just ain't there yet with that. So, did you have any observations, Biscuit or Blake?
You go first.
No, I mean, I think y'all hit them. I mean, the team was, yeah, I think anything else I would add. The thing that Corn said stuck out a lot. I think the thing that stuck out to me that they needed to work on, that they also addressed themselves, was the selfishness and leaning on other people and needing to become more selfless. And I think they kind of got that toward the end of the course, and they all said they understood it, and some of them said they weren't happy with how they executed that, but I saw that the whole time. And so it's good that they all recognized that, and I hope they took it home and are able to work on that.
I'm good. Y'all covered it all already.
Would you just come on this podcast just to sit here, baby, and listen to us talk?
Well, you haven't stopped talking since the beginning, so I really haven't had a chance to say anything. I have lots of topics up my sleeve. I got some
what's your
games. I got all sorts of stuff. You just turn me loose.
What's your main topic?
Well, so my topics tend to be
Hard shifts.
very, very similar. Okay? They're talking about hardship, talking about farts, talking about poop, or talking crap about you. So I don't know if there's a category that you prefer today, if you want to choose, but otherwise I can choose.
Okay, tell me what you want to talk about, Biscuit.
I would like to talk about, I met somebody this week, and this is, I think we've talked about this before, but I'm not sure. I met the 16th person this week who's been married for I think he'd been married 13 years, and he had never passed gas in front of his wife. Ever. And he had never heard his wife pass gas, and they live in the house together and sleep in the bed together. And several people have told me that recently, and I'm just astonished, and I think they're all lying. So that's what I would like to talk about.
We pretty much bottomed that topic out. Good observation.
Wow.
Bottomed that out.
You want?
So today is actually the official Coronavirus Day of Remembrance.
I'll let you do what you just did because you've been poopy pants lately and you need to feel like an alpha male. So I'm going to allow you to do what you're doing, but just know I know what you're doing.
So today is actually
That just raised his testosterone.
Yeah, look at him grinning.
A lot, Brooke.
Look
You
at
needed
him.
that.
Yeah, I'll
Just
let him
for
have it.
mood's sake.
Today
Go
is
ahead, Boo.
actually the National Day of Remembrance, June 19th, Day of Remembrance of. Today we're remembering all of the crimes against humanity that have been perpetrated over the last 5 years. We remember the forced medical experiment that was forced on so many people in the year of 2021 and 2022. We remember those who had to die alone in hospitals, old folks and people who were sick, who weren't able to be around their loved ones, and they had to die alone because of a little cold that was going around that was created and released on all of humanity in order for some evil people to win power. We remember the tyrannical mandates, the lockdowns. Boy, those lockdowns really worked, didn't they?
Yeah.
2 weeks to flatten the curve. Wasn't that it?
Yep.
They really worked. So
We're on day 792 of 15 days to slow the spread.
Okay. All right. Yep. That worked. So we remember that. We remember the mass formation psychosis where all of us Americans just got in line and pretty much went along. Well, not all of us. There were just a handful of us that decided not to go along with everything that was happening. The government threats against us. Prepare yourself for a winter of sickness and death. That's one that I remember from the great Joe Biden. Today, we remember all of the media manipulation. That is still ongoing. I can still now post a YouTube video about coronavirus or the shot, and it gets a little banner at the bottom of propaganda that you can click on to get your factual information from your government. We remember the experimental vaccine that was forced upon so many people. Actually, we did an effort. We created a T-shirt back then that said "Mandate Freedom" across the back. We sold about $40,000, I think, of those T-shirts, and we gave all of that money away, $40,000, to people who were losing their jobs and their careers because they chose not to take this experimental vaccine. We gave that to them so that they could possibly have a little bit of time to get back on their feet from losing the job that most of them had worked their entire life to do. And all other infringements upon the liberties of a free people, supposedly free people. So this is the National Day of Remembrance. Never forget the scamdemic that was perpetrated upon humanity. And why do we not want to forget these things? We don't want to forget these things because it's going to come around again. It's going to happen again. It was way too effective the first time. And so if we forget these things, which I know a lot of you guys want to do, you just want to forget all the stuff that's happened since 2020 and you just want to move along with your life like nothing has changed. Well, let me tell you right now, the world has changed. And if we forget what has happened over the last 5 years, when it rolls around again, the same thing is going to happen, but it's going to be worse. So that's why we made this shirt, and that's why we declared the National Day of Remembrance here on June 19th of 2024, the first National Day of Remembrance. If you have one of these shirts, please wear it today as you're out and about, out in town. Pope Chili, do you have anything official that you want to add about the National Day of Remembrance? Because it was your declaration.
It shall be celebrated every year henceforth on June 19th, the year of our Lord. What I would like to be done is a blue COVID mask hung from your flagpole. How you will remember this day on June 19th. Your flag should already be at half staff, so then just lower it the rest of the way. If you have an American flag, remove it, discard it, and then please hoist up the COVID-19 mask to full staff on June 19th.
A blue N95 mask.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the official mask of coronavirus.
That's right.
Every day henceforth.
Roger that. Pope decreed it. Y'all heard it first here. Thank you for that, Chili. All right. Thank you guys for celebrating the National Day of Remembrance with us here at 307 Project.
There's also a big holiday today.
No, National Day of Remembrance.
That's the only holiday today, boo-boo.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
Unfortunately,
There's a
is.
very important holiday today.
No, there is not.
Yes,
Yeah,
there
it's
is.
National
Disagree.
Day of Remembrance.
National Day of Remembrance. It's not a competing holiday. Don't you bring it up.
Yep. It's the only day to remember.
You guys are dicks.
Whoa, baby, there's children watching this.
Well, it needed to be said.
Good.
crap,
I
bro.
don't agree with y'all's shenanigans right now. What are you doing over here? I'm brushing my arm hair.
Okay, boo-boo, what's your next topic?
No, I'm
She wanted
not
to
playing
discuss on
games
the
with
show
you
here.
today.
I'm not playing games either. You have to come up with a legitimate topic to discuss. Do you have one?
I gave you 4 categories.
Okay. Okay, so you don't have one. Okay. That sounds good. Well, I guess I'll talk to you guys about my most recent struggle since nobody else seems to have a topic.
Well, I wanted to talk about the draft a little bit. We covered that.
Yeah, we covered that
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, and Biscuit, I mean, I'm throwing you a bone here. I'm trying to give you a chance.
I would love to talk about the marriage and the farts or any kind of hardship you guys want to talk about. I was
Hardship duty.
I would love to talk about the difference between lobsters and crawdads. I would love to talk about lots of stuff. History.
Any kind of hardship you've dealt with.
Well, we just
Chad did say he was going to talk about his latest struggle.
Or we could go around the circle and all tell stories about the times we've pooped our pants. That's one of my favorite activities.
so that's been done before.
Yeah, but it's great, and the stories are endless. And Chili's never shared one of his. He's
Yeah, he
never.
has.
No, he hasn't. He's just alluded to it.
Well, he's told us about when he was running and he pooped his pants.
Yeah.
But that was all he said. Like, I need details.
Oh, that's pretty much all there is to it, and I've done that 13 to 17 times.
Yeah, and you said they were all wild, and you've never shared any of them, and it would make me happy, and so I think you're being selfish.
Well, really, I shared all of them and wrapped into one.
No,
Once you do it once, you've done it 100 times.
I don't know why you're asking me though, Boo, because you're just asking me that way you can shoot me down and then continue talking about whatever you want to talk about.
Well,
So
he was
you,
about to talk about his hardship.
You go ahead. Oh, well, I'll join in on that conversation. Let's go. Let's get into it.
Well, so these last few months for me, have y'all ever reached the point where you just felt like there was you had some problems coming up in your life and you was dealing with things but you were dealing with them well. You were moving through them, you were learning from them. You really felt like you were growing from them. But then something comes down the pipe that just pushes you over the edge and you just have a meltdown. Y'all ever been in that situation? Like, oh, okay. I've reached the capacity right now. At the maturity level that I am at right now, this one right here just bumped me over the capacity that I am trained up to be able to handle. And you just you just go ahead and have a meltdown.
I mean, what does a meltdown look like?
Like a little kid. Pitching a
Did
fit.
you throw a tantrum?
I don't think I threw a tantrum, did I, boo-boo?
You threw a tantrum the other night.
Did I really?
Yeah, it was like 10:15, and we have a rule that Chad doesn't abide, that if either of us is upset about something, we don't discuss it after about 10 o'clock because it just never goes well. And so I go get in the shower, and I tell him, hey, like, I know you're feeling this way. can we table this for in the morning? Because it's 10:15 and I'm trying to wind my mind down and we got all this crazy stuff going on in our lives. And he stayed quiet and didn't agree. And that's when I knew it was going to be bad. So I'm in the middle of my shower, like sitting in the chair, letting the water run over my back, trying to like calm my mind. Oh, yeah, we have a shower chair.
I love it.
And it's for handicapped folks, but I love it.
I like how you
And-
drop these details as if they're not going to be covered, like you're brushing your arm hair and you sit down in the shower. I mean, we're going to stop and ask questions.
That's like your poop story. I need details, but stop derailing me. So he comes in and flings the shower curtain open and goes,
Pooped right on the shower floor.
No, he didn't. He said, you know what? And then he started this rant about continuing to be angry about this thing that I didn't do. It's just
couldn't let it go.
I just missed something. Did you say he crapped in the floor?
No, he said he crapped in the floor. That was a lie to diverge from the fact that he came in there and got really wound up.
Oh.
And in that moment, I said, babe, please. I said, we just talked about, because I could see it in his eyes when he flung the shower curtain door open. And I'm vulnerable in there, you know, like don't yell at me when I'm sitting in the shower chair.
That's a safe space.
Right. And he just commenced to standing there while I'm facing the floor with my head down and just ranted for about 3 minutes and then just closed the shower curtain and left. And I was like, and so, yeah, you had a meltdown.
Well, I can just picture this happening, y'all, in the living room, and you say that to him, and he sits over there stroking his beard, doesn't say anything. Yep. And then she's like, all right. He sits in there a little bit longer, and he's just steaming, you know, like, hot. Then he stands up, keeps stroking his beard, walks in there and just snatches it open. Oh, I could see it happen all day.
Blake loves the goings on at our house. He loves to watch the way Brooke and I do life because it's so ridiculous to him. because he's over here, he's got 2 kids, and he's got all this other stuff going on because he does have children, and me and Brooke are just sitting over here, and it's just me and Brooke, and we act like it's just the hardest thing ever. So
I do not act like that.
well, I do.
Well, that's how you handle it.
Yeah,
That's how you handle that.
that's how you handle that, Bubba. That's right.
So
Chili's seen it too.
wrapping all this
That's
up.
how you taught me.
Yep. Yeah, I
how to
did.
handle
Gosh,
that.
nuh-uh. You better not. Wrapping this up, you did in fact have a meltdown. The answer is yes. You did.
Have y'all ever melted down before?
Yeah, I have. I usually don't melt down with the actual issue, like you was sitting there thinking about what y'all had been talking about. Mine will be like a pet peeve will hit me, like a dog will drink too much water, and then I'll get mad and you
Kill
Whoa!
I shoot that dog for drinking too much water.
I mean, that happened, didn't it?
Don't act like that's
we know where
crazy.
G gets it from.
Don't act like that's outlandish, Corn.
That's within reason.
Don't act like that's outlandish
Whoa.
to kill a dog for drinking too much water.
Like if you basement water flood and he down there lapping that while you already so ticked about the basement flood.
Oh, y'all making my leg cramp. Yes, I like the little things will set me off, but it's because of I'm not dealing with something the right way with something else that's major going on. But then I'll pitch a fit about that little thing. Oh, y'all made a dang mess on the dang front porch or something like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Well,
And then I'll just let the big thing just keep sort of floating on out there.
now that you bring that up, Corn, I told Chad last night that I believe that's what's happened to him right now.
Please speak more, Biscuit.
I believe that I'm trying to think. I wish we could just be open about everything, but I can't. I'm not. So the problem that he's hung up on doesn't involve him directly. It involves me dealing with people's problems. And he doesn't even have to hear about it if he doesn't want to. But he knows it's impacting me, and that makes him angry, and he doesn't want me to have to deal with it. So last night I said, I think you getting so fixated and angry about this thing is because your blood clot and because you're not well, and that's really stressful and that's really hard. And he hasn't worked out until he's never gone 2 weeks without working out. And I don't think ever since before the Navy. And so I think he's just, that's what I think, Boo. I think you're just having a hard time, and that situation is aggravating to you, but that's where it's coming out. That's just what I think.
Well, this is Chad's therapy session, but
No, it's not. We're gonna make this helpful for people because
Well,
surely
I know.
there's somebody else out there on the verge of a meltdown.
I know we're using your example, but all of those things, like working out that he's been able to do in the past, were able to just distract him from the thing that actually bothered him. Like, this actually bothers him, but in the past he could say, well, I got the tactical games coming up, and I'm going to go shoot, and I've got this I'm going to do, and that I'm going to do, and he distracts himself away from what is not that big of a deal unless it's the only thing he's got to deal with, and he can't distract himself from it. That's what I think.
Yep.
Well, both of you guys are wrong.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
The two people who know you better than anybody
Good
else are both
observations.
wrong.
And that might be the case for some of the listeners.
I agree with Blake, by the way.
Yeah,
go ahead and tell us. I mean, it's your mind. You know best.
This has everything to do with the level of training that I'm at right now. I'm only at about level 7. I'm only about a level 7 trainer.
You're dealing with level 10 problems.
Well, no, at level 7.
Level 7 what? Of what?
Of 10.
Level 7 out of 10.
No.
Of meltdown?
Of
No,
what?
no.
You're level 7 on Wim
training.
Hof instruction?
Of your blood clot?
Of training. Right?
Training for what?
Tra-
Well, there's 10 levels of training in life, and he has reached level 7.
You're really convoluting this conversation. I need you to get to the point and be a little more concise.
Training in Christ. All right?
Okay.
This is I'm talking here about training to be an imager of Christ.
Level 7.
I'm only at about level 7 here. All right?
3.
And so at level 7, you're getting to the point where you can react in a Christ-like way to the problems that you're having in your immediate environment and in yourself, right? You at level 7, you can react in a Christ-like way to those things. You can handle your problems in the right way, the way they should be handled. But at level 7, you can't handle your problems and other people's problems. At level 7, you just ain't trained up enough to do that. And that's where I'm at. I feel like over the last few years, the Lord has molded me and developed me to the point that I've gotten pretty good at being a husband. I've gotten pretty good at being a person, me. I've gotten pretty good at some things and imaging Christ in my personal life and with my immediate family and you guys, essentially. But he said, all right, Chad, it's time to take you up to level 8. And that's going to be a painful process, buddy. Because at level 8, you've got to be a good husband. You've got to be a good friend. You've got to be a good mentor. You got to handle your business. At level 8, you got to handle your business right. But at level 8, you also got to be able to handle other people and their problems when they come into your space. You got to be able to handle that right, too.
I think handle is not the proper word. I
React.
think support.
Yeah, support, react, whatever you want to say.
Because you ain't going to handle nobody
Yep.
else's problems. You support.
Man, I agree with that.
You support other people's problems.
It don't matter if you got problems of your own or not. You ain't handling nobody else's, period.
That's a good point. And change the terminology. You can say support or you could say react. React in a Christ-like manner, right? And so every time you level up, you're probably going to have a meltdown. Because the only way for you to level up is for life to put more on you than you're prepared to handle. You see what I'm saying? You ain't going to level up until all of a sudden life throws too much at you than you can handle, than you're trained up for, than you're ready for.
Well, then when you have 2 years of downtime where there's no crisis and nobody needs your support, like drastically, you probably are going to drop back down to a 4. And then when crap hits the fan again and you've gotten comfortable, you're going to have to work your way back up the ladder again.
Yeah. But it's a little easier to work yourself up back to the last level you had achieved, though. But when you're going to a whole new level, it is rough, son.
So you've had about 7 meltdowns.
So I told Blake yesterday. Blake came over to the house. What'd I tell you, Blake?
He just said, I'm backsliding bad, Bubba. It's out of nowhere.
I told him, I ain't got nothing to hide. I'm just going to be honest with you. I told him straight up. I said, buddy, I'm backsliding hard, son. Like hard. Like I'm backsliding to the point that I didn't even want to pray about the thing that caused me to backslide because I knew what the answer was going to be. But I didn't want to pray about it because I knew what the answer was going to be, and I didn't want the right answer. I wanted the answer that made sense to me at level 7.
Yeah.
Can I say, though...
How about that, buddy? Brooke had to pray for us 2 nights ago because I didn't even want to pray. I told her I ain't praying.
I think this is a good, like what you're saying right now to me is a great lesson, is that you have now chosen to do the right thing in this situation, but your attitude hasn't followed your action yet. Mm-hmm. And I think that's okay. Like, I think people beat themselves up and they allow their inner critic to like, well, you've done the right thing, but you still don't like it or you're still upset about it. And it's like, sometimes your feelings will follow your action if you don't beat yourself up and overanalyze. Like, it is still the right thing if you do the right thing and you're struggling with it. Like, you still can celebrate that. I think you should still celebrate that you've chosen the right thing, but it doesn't feel... Actually, every day I choose things like that. I choose things all the time that are the right thing for me, and I don't like it, but it's the right thing. So I think what you're experiencing is human, and you're doing well. Your meltdown when you busted in on me in the shower was a little intrusive.
Well, my meltdown lasted way longer than that. My backsliding was like 2 days long.
Yeah, but you got a lot going on. I think you're doing fine. I think as long as you're, action-wise, as long as you're doing the next right thing, you're just being a human in the struggle. You're not allowing the emotion to change the decisions you're making. You said, I didn't want to pray because I knew what the answer was. You knew what the answer was, so you went with the answer, and you're still pissed about it, but that's okay. You're human. Just, you're doing the right thing. You're kind of a butthole, but you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of confused about what upset you, that Brooke was having to help someone, or Brooke was being burdened, or there was somebody else coming into...
All three. That somebody else is bringing their problems into my the environment that I'm responsible for.
Right.
When there's already so many problems in the environment that I'm responsible for, that we are actively working to overcome them every minute of every day. And here's some people that's going to put more on top of that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So that made me mad.
Had those problems not the previous not already been there or being worked on, not been there, and then this come up, would it be an issue?
Not near as big of an issue.
No, because he entered into it before the blood clot.
Right.
Not near as big of an issue. But
right.
but I'm over here like in just my own environment, you know, I'm having to work, have been for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm having to work every day to remain faithful to the Lord, like in prayer and really seeking the Lord. And I'm having to work, man. And my wife's having to work. And we're working together, and we've got a thing worked out, and it's we're, you know, that's what got us to level 7.
Yeah.
But level 7 is not, it doesn't feel good for either of us.
Yeah, it didn't feel good to get to level 7.
No, it's not going to, when you're leveling up in anything in life, generally it is not going to be comfortable. Like, name something that you can level up on in life that is going to be just joyous and there's going to be no pain. Like, can you think of anything?
No, it's part of it's part of training.
Right.
So yeah, Cornbread, I'm like, y'all know what we got going on.
Yeah.
And you don't have enough respect knowing exactly what we've got going on to handle your business, because while we're trying to handle our business, and you don't have enough respect not to dump your business on us, and it ain't got nothing to do with us, and you know what we got going on. Yeah, that ticks me off. Like, I wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah.
Like, if I knowed you was just in the midst of a bout of whatever, and you were fighting every day to work through it, I wouldn't come in and just keep taking a dump on you with the crap, whatever crap I had going on. Like, I ain't gonna do that. So yeah, that ticked me off, man.
Well, I think a lot of times though, the person that may bring an issue to you, they don't see your issue as being that big of an issue, probably because you are level 7 and you're handling it really well.
Yeah. Yeah, that you're right, Corn.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Biscuit?
Yeah, I do agree with that. And I think what you're saying plays back into what I was saying before about, like, yes, it's unfortunate that while we're going through trials and tribulations in our family, that we are taking on other people's, we're supporting other people's trials and tribulations in parallel, in the same. And it's ideally everybody else that we love and know well would take a break from all their trials and tribulations while we're going through ours, because that would be the respectful thing to do. But obviously that's not how life works, and that's not what being in a relationship with people look like, you know? It's most people don't get to choose when crisis happens. And, you know, I have my close group of friends, and we've gotten together before and all been in a crisis, and it just is like, it's just life. You can't take turns. There is no, okay, no, you're done with your crisis, so now I have the space to support you. Like, it's unfortunate.
So here is going to be for all of you guys that are looking to go to level 8, I'm going to give you.
I'm a big fan of the levels.
Oh, I knew you would be, Chili. That's why I'm using them. That's why I'm using them. I knew you would love it. All right, for all of you guys who are looking to go to level number 8, let me tell you what it's going to require you to do. All right, y'all ready for this? You think you want to go to level 8? Let me tell you the main factor that leads you into level 8, all right? Here it is. Y'all done read this before, and you didn't know this was level 8. But now you about to know, all right? This is what you're going to have to do. But to all of you who will listen, I say, love your enemies and do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. If someone strikes you on the cheek, turn to him the other also. And if someone takes your cloak, do not withhold your tunic as well. Give to everyone who asks you, and if anyone takes whatever is yours, do not demand it back.
There you go.
You ready? You ready to go to level 8? Do you think that Jesus said this just because it sounded good? Maybe you've read this before. And by the way, I'm reading from Luke chapter 6. Maybe you've read this before and you say, you know, that really sounds good. I mean, you know. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you understand how freaking radical this is that he's saying right here? I mean, surely to goodness he just said this because it sounds like somebody that would do that's a real good person. I tell you what, Jesus, he sure was good. Surely that's the only reason this is in here. Surely he doesn't mean that if I'm going to go to level 8, I actually have to do this. You got to be kidding me right now. No, this was just recorded just so that we could know how good he was. No, buddy. No, buddy. You want to go to level 8? That's what it's going to require. If you don't, you can just stay where you're at. He didn't put this in here just so you could see how good he was. He didn't put this in here just to give you some unattainable standard so that you can realize your own wickedness and unrighteousness. No, he put this in here because he's going to one day require you to do it. That's why he put it in there. And this is the reason why I had a meltdown and a backslide. Because I came to a point in my life where I had to make a decision to live this out. To literally live it out. To a point, like to a high degree. Like, I'm not talking about some paltry thing. Like, I'm not talking about something like walking up to somebody who you had a disagreement with and saying, you know what, I'm going to pray for you. No, man, that's the American Christianity that you're used to. That's what you're thinking when you read this in Luke chapter 6. You're thinking, you know what, I'm just going to mention old Joe that I had a disagreement with on how to run the skid steer at work today, and me and him had a few words. I'm just going to mention him in my prayers tonight. No, buddy. No. That's the American Christianity that you're used to. I'm talking about implementing this to a degree that it literally makes you writhe.
Oh. Oh.
That it keeps you up at night, that you're having to do this, that it's costing you so much that you're feeling it, son. You're going to see it and you're going to feel it. For somebody that you despise. That's level 8. You want to go there? You better gird your loins, son.
Well, as we speak of it in levels, I would say that we're all just level 1, and there's a level 10.
I'm going to level 8, Bubba.
But you just go from 1 to 10. I think we're all always level 1.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think there's any levels.
Too many things.
I might be hovering around 0 personally.
Well, we all are.
Well,
Biscuit's the only one that's
y'all can poo-poo on that if
It's
you
all
want.
right, Bubba.
The point.
It's all right, Bubba. You just a
That's
level
all right,
8
Bubba.
hanging out with a bunch of level 1s.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It was that hiss he did that made him a level 8. You know what I mean? At the end
He
of it.
become level 8 when he said, "Rise."
Nobody's poo-pooing on it. I mean, I agree with everything you said. And
the point of the levels is to give people an illustration of the fact that you have to grow and grow and grow. That's not a legitimate, that's not a biblical concept that you're at some level. It's to give you an illustration that, yeah, you're okay. You are going to be put through a test, and your reaction is going to determine your growth. That's the point of me using that illustration. And by the way, when you're moving up to level 8, you're going to have to do this also in the midst of a bunch of crap that you're already dealing with.
Is there anybody that we know right now that isn't going through some crap?
Yeah, I mean, I've had I had years that I wasn't going through a bunch of crap personally.
We had 2 years of silence.
You have seasons. Many people have. You have many seasons in your life where you have problems in life, but you don't have a problem that's like, oh crap, I had a freaking random blood clot pop up in my leg, and now the whole trajectory of my year is possibly changed. You don't have problems where it's like your story, baby, and the things you've been going through, and holy crap, what's going to happen with this? And you no, I'm talking about big freaking problems, man.
Well, it's more.
I'm not talking about you stubbed your dang toe.
It's more too about why someone's coming to you with the problem. I think that's more bothersome to you than the problem itself, because I mean, yeah, we all got plenty of things. I could get on here today and say, oh, Chad, he told me yesterday he backsliding, he got all these. Well, who is he to come to me with all? But no, it's like, no, you say that because you want to talk about it. You want my help to some degree. And so, no, I'm not mad about it. And if I did the same to you, you wouldn't be mad about it. And anybody in here, with anybody that we know, if they came to us with a legitimate problem, regardless of what we're going through, I don't think any of us would respond in the manner that, like, who are you to bring that problem to me when I'm dealing with this? It's just not who we are. But then if someone manufactures a problem for some certain reason, then that could tick you off.
Yeah,
that could tick you off. So a lot of it is why the problem was brought to you in the first place.
Yeah,
and in this situation, I think it's a little.
If you think somebody's being dramatic, or you don't even really believe the issue is a problem.
Yep. Oh boy.
But
y'all getting at it.
That gets into a bigger issue when it comes to choosing to support other people and give to other people. I think what prevents me from doing that most of the time is what you guys are saying. I assume that I know what's going on in their head and heart. I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely know that person's going to do this with that, or they're just going to be the same old person they are after I get done helping them. And that's not what support is about. Support is a gift. And that's the selfish side of like now, if there are levels to this where it does make sense, but I think that keeps me from doing things for people a lot. It's just, I think I know how they're going to behave. And I don't think we always know how people are going to behave. We just think we know.
I mean, according to Luke chapter 6, don't none of that matter.
Yeah, good point.
According to Luke chapter 6, it don't none of that matter. According to Luke chapter 6, if someone is cursing you, you should pray for them. If someone strikes you, you should turn the other cheek and let them strike you again. According to Luke chapter 6, if someone steals from you, you should give them even more than they stole and not ask for anything in return. So he made it very clear that none of that matters.
Well,
I mean, Luke chapter 6 is literally saying, like, actively pursue and love the people who are actively hating you.
And that is it's not the action that matters, but it's the posture of the heart. And so that's what,
Well, the action reveals the posture of the heart.
And that's what I'm saying. The problem is not any of that. It's that the fact that you despise someone on that level, to me.
Yeah.
But see, I disagree with that to a certain level. Like kind of back to what we were doing. I think for me, my inner voice, you know, the dialogue that's going on in me sometimes when I'm doing the right thing is still not, like I said, it's just not perfect. You know, like I'm choosing the right thing because I know it's the right thing, but my heart might not be in the right place because I'm human and because I'm not perfect. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's ideal to have your heart and your actions in the right place, but I don't feel like that happens very often.
Well, you can sit here all day long and wax long and fantasize and describe the posture of your heart towards someone, but until there's a situation that requires action, you can say whatever you want about the posture of your heart until it's about to cost you something, and then we'll go ahead, and that's going to uncover the posture of your heart. And when that's uncovered, that's a good thing. If the posture of your heart towards this person is like completely not Christ-like whatsoever, like it's good that that's uncovered. That probably would have never been uncovered if that would not, if there wouldn't have been a situation that required me to act in a way that was going to cost me a great deal. Like that would have never been uncovered. Because I could sit here and say all day long, I love this person. Even though, like, inwardly I despise them. But I can say, I love this person. I can even pray for this person like I love them. But then all of a sudden, there's a situation that's going to cost me a great deal on their behalf.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Whoa, the curtain is pulled back.
There's a difference in doing the right thing and having the right heart. There's a total difference. You can change behavior and do the right thing. Like C.S. Lewis has this theology of good pretending, and that if you do the right thing long enough, then that will kind of become who you are, and I don't really agree with it. I think that God changes our hearts, and then our actions are changed. I'm not near as wise as C.S. Lewis, but I'm just going off my knowledge of the Bible. And so, yeah, you can pray for the person. You can say that you love the person. And someone would look at Chad and say, boy, he really loves that person. But he don't. And so if his heart is changed and then he actually loves the person, then he's going to pray for the person. And then he's going to say he loves the person. And people say, boy, Chad really loves that person. But he actually does now. And you can look different on the outside, but on the inside just be a total mess.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you where I'm at right now with this specific situation. Like Brooke said, well, I'm going to take the proper action, and I'm going to act the way Christ tells us to act in Luke chapter 6. But I ain't worked out the whole idea of loving this person and praying for this person yet.
Well, and I feel like I
ain't worked that out yet.
I overanalyze everything. So, like, I love what you're saying, Blake, and I agree with it to some extent. But I think if I waited until my heart was aligned with the right thing all the time, I don't think I would do the right thing very often. And then if I truly believe that like, if I'm aligned with Christ, my heart will be in the right place. If I go and have to give a large sum of money or choose to give a large sum of money and I feel kind of bummed about it, I'm like, dang, I'm not going to be able to buy that blank I wanted to buy. I'm going to be like, ooh, you're not in a good place with God, because, you know, it's like, I just feel like that's just life. Like, even just silly stuff like taking
training.
care of your body. It's like, yeah.
I think the fact that you are able to do that points to that your heart is either being changed or is in the process of it.
Yeah, you're right, Blake.
You're able to do it. And now it's never going to be made perfect, but that withholding you always feel is going to be, that's the struggle of the flesh and the spirit.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you do those things, like you do those things enough, and then you will be joyful when you're like, man, this is an opportunity for me to be able to give to somebody, to be able to help them. And I know that God loves a cheerful giver. So he loves that I'm giving this to this person, and not that I'm giving it out of some predetermined notion or out of necessity. And so I think that shows that you're in the process of it, and you shouldn't wait until it's your desire to do that thing. Like, I'm not saying don't do the action because you still have this reservation in your heart. I think that you should do it along the way, and the fact that you're able to is evidence that your heart is being changed as you're doing that. And then that will only get more, easier and easier and easier, and those feelings of struggling against the flesh will go away the more that you do those things. So maybe in a sense I see what C.S. Lewis was talking about, but I just don't. I've been thinking on that topic for a long time, of change from the inside out, not from changing your behavior so that my heart changes. Like, your changed behavior is evidence that your heart is changing. It's not changing your heart.
Do you think you can change your behavior much at all without a change of heart done by the Lord? Like,
I think you can.
You think you can choose to continually change your behavior to do things like Chad's doing that are that difficult without a heart change?
I don't know about on like content, but like look at like a serial killer, or these people that like look like the normal person on the outside.
Yeah, but they're doing that thing to then gain the whatever they're doing. Like, it's a means to an end. It's not like they're going out. It's not like, oh, I'm doing the right thing here. Like, their heart's the same, so the behavior is. Like, they have to do that behavior almost to get what they're trying to do that's evil. Like,
I could love to get drunk and not drink around my kids. It's like, so I can change that behavior.
Your heart about around your kids is probably good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so you can change that behavior. At least that's what I think, but I don't think you can do it long term.
I think what you guys are talking about makes me just think about, like, back to what you're saying, Blake, it's the conviction. And I think that's for me, that's evidence that my heart is changing. But it's almost like a parent with an unruly child. It's like God will just come into my mind and my heart and be like, like with Chad, like when he didn't want to pray because he knew what the answer was going to be. It's like, that's the behavior change, is like you hear that voice saying, nope, I know you're pissed about it. I know you're going to fight and scream the whole way, but this is what you need to do. And I do think that if you repeat that and you listen to that over and over again, that I don't know if it's a reward or if it's just the Holy Spirit, but it does seem to get easier.
And I also want on that, I want to explain something to you guys. When I told you guys I didn't want to pray because I knew what the answer was, I want to explain what I mean by that. If I had this, my goal was not to go to the Lord in prayer and ask for discernment on what I should do in this specific instance and expect some revelation from the Holy Spirit. Because what I would have been doing then is I would have been praying for an answer that is already in God's Word. How many times do we do that? How many times do we find ourselves in a situation in life where we have to make a decision and we pray for some discernment on what decision to make, and the guidance that you want is already in the Word of God, and either you don't know it's there or you know it's there and you're hoping and praying that God will give you some other word other than what is in His Word, because you don't want to make the decision and go in the direction that God's Word already tells you to go. So I want to explain this to you guys. The reason I didn't want to pray wasn't because I thought God was going to respond to me in a way that was contrary to what I wanted to do, because His Word had already done that. I didn't want to pray because essentially I was ashamed. I was ashamed that I knew what to do. I knew what to do.
And you were acting the way you were acting.
And I was acting the way I was acting, and I didn't want to do it. And so how can I approach the throne of God in prayer when I'm sitting here saying, there's this thing in my life, and I know what your word tells me to do, but I don't want to do that. But I'm going to come to you in prayer and ask you to help me. The only thing, God, I can ask you to do is help me obey you. I'm not here to ask you to give me a revelation on how to react. I'm here to, the only thing I can ask you is help me obey you. And guess what? I don't want to obey you right now. So how do I come to you in prayer and ask you to help me obey you when I don't want to obey you? That's why I didn't want to pray. Y'all get what I'm saying? So don't get that confused, man. I think so many of the things that we pray about are just so superfluous and ridiculous. I really do. I think they are. And so that's level 7 stuff. So that's all for all you guys in levels 1 through 6.
I love that, boo.
Thank you, boo-boo. Well, we got a Patreon question, and then we're going to wrap it up. Told you guys about Patreon earlier. Chili, I want you to weigh in on this question, all right, Bubby?
It's definitely a chilly question.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
A lot of these questions are chili questions. I told you guys about Patreon earlier. One of the things that I love about our patrons is every week they send in questions for the show. So they get to, or they choose to influence the conversation here on the podcast. And boy, they hit us with some biggies. But you guys on Patreon, you're such a big part of the show. We want to hear what you guys are struggling with. And we want to have conversations here, not always necessarily to provide an answer, because a lot of times we might not have the answer, but we at least want to have a discussion and maybe get your mind turning, right? So this is from one of our patrons. He wanted to reach out and ask a question about something that has been weighing on him for the past few weeks. I assume this is a him.
Yeah.
All right. For context, I am currently training for my second Ironman triathlon, and I will run my first 100-miler later this October as well. While my main priority and reason for doing these things is to better my relationship with the Lord through the testing of my faith during these hard events, like you've talked about as well on the podcast, one of my best friends in the church I go to has come to me and told me I am being prideful and I don't have my priorities in line because of these races. What sparked this was I was unable to attend a men's breakfast on a Saturday morning because of a long bike ride I had for training. I'm usually very good at prioritizing my time and trying to be at every church event that I can be at. I try my best to stay hyper aware of whether these races are controlling my life, and if they are, I pray about it and get back in line. This has been weighing on me because it has made me question if the things that I am doing are even worth it, if my closest friend is thinking I'm prideful because it makes me afraid of what others will think of me as well. The main question is, are the things I'm doing prideful? Am I in the wrong for wanting to do these races? What do you think, Chill Man?
Boy, I'm shocked that there is a question that I have more than just, I don't know, to. I've got a lot to that question. I feel like I can answer every ounce of that through personal experience, and it's actually, whoever that was, thank you for asking a pointed, detailed, specific, answerable question. And I may need it in front of me because there's parts of that but I'll I will answer first, then y'all too. But this pertains so much to me, it's unbelievable. I mean, I don't know when it will stop. Probably never. Asking me to race again, when I'll race again. Why do I not race right now? Why has it been 3 years since you've raced? Why this? Why that? I've almost stopped giving the honest answer and just don't really say much at all anymore because the honest answer does not register in the minds of the people that ask me. Almost nobody. But the honest answer, for what it's worth, is I have come to the conclusion that I am unable to race at the level that I was, really at all, and not worship it. Or worship myself through those things, really, more accurately. I mean, that's what's his name, Drew? That's just the reality for me.
Yeah, you ain't on that level yet, Bubba.
Yeah, maybe I could potentially get to a day where that is not the case for me, but I'm not. I'm no longer looking for that day. If that happens, it happens. I don't care. The fact is, I can't right now.
What were the signs for you in your life that, like, okay, this is crossing the line of being like a fun activity, and I am like, what did you, similar to him, were you like skipping out on like church? Like what was it?
I didn't do anything else.
Oh, well,
I mean, I didn't do anything else. I didn't talk to people whenever there was a normal, I'm not saying I missed my second cousin's dog's birthday. No, I mean, I missed everything. I mean, no matter how significant to people, really, I don't have any brothers or sisters, but cousins, mom, dad, grandparents, aunts, uncles, like whoever really close to me, big things for them. I mean, I did not give a flying crap about any of it. I mean, just flat out. I mean, that's somebody, died. It's a funeral. Well, sucks they died today. I have training. Like, I did not care about anything else. But not even just things that you'd miss like that. Just day to day, miss everything. And when I say miss everything, I mean like things that matter and things you should. And by the way, things I wanted to be a part of me wanted to be, but just didn't care. Yeah, I can't even really fully articulate the depths of it. I mean, it's just if another thought about something else other than running and competing and how to win this race was entered my head, it was almost like, what? What is that? Mm-hmm. That's a distraction. That's not important. So, and what are the signs? Well, the signs are all of that. I mean, it's right in front of you. And by the way, why it may be important for someone else to help you, Drew, is I couldn't see it. Everybody else could see it. Everybody even remotely close to me. People that didn't even know me that could see me for 1 second at a race or something would know exactly what was going on. But it don't matter. Like, you can't see it. You just cannot see it. Then you get to the point where I could see it. I don't know what flips, but you actually get to the point where, I do see it now, like, ugh. Then go through a long period of not giving a crap. I could see it, knew what was going on, knew it was a problem, didn't care. I don't care. Like, whatever. I still got to do this. This is still my thing. And then finally, after, I would say years and years and years, getting to the point of, I don't really know how it changes, but actually, the credit doesn't belong to me because I'm almost painting it that way like it does. The change was spurred not by me realizing this and taking action. No, actually being taken out of it against my will with races being gone in 2020. So that's what happened. So then I'm forced to not. It's taken away from me. So I didn't choose to stop racing. I don't know that I ever would have. They were taken away. And even in that time, fought like hell to still race even when there was no races at all in 2020. Would go do whatever I could find.
Mid-State Mile.
Yeah, well, yeah, did Mid-State Mile and did others. Yeah.
We should have added that to the shirt, by the way. Race is canceled.
Yeah. So it was through that time of still trying to fight it and pretend like it wasn't that bad and pretend like, oh, well, I don't care anyway, that it finally, you go, I'm done. I'm done doing this. I don't even want to do this anymore because I would rather not worship this. I don't want to do this. Now, the reason I say all that is because that is certainly how it can get. Now, to the man asking this question, I have no idea if it's that way for you. Like, people race all the time. People compete in other things all the time. People have their thing way beyond running, but running's a good one, that they do in a completely healthy manner. I would say there's 5 in the room. I would say 4 of y'all do it very well. All 4 of you. Corn just trained for a big 100-mile bike ride. He did it. He works out every day. Chad has races every year, competes, trains, does well. Blake, same thing. Brooke, same thing. What are they supposed to do? I mean, they may miss a dang men's breakfast. What are they? I mean, that's what your friend brought up. Well, who gives a crap, dude? What are you supposed to do? Be at the church every time the doors are open?
I'm curious, Chili, like, I think I've been obsessive with exercise before.
Yeah, maybe you have.
I have.
Yep.
Especially coming out of recovery. And I'm curious if you know, like, within you, what was driving you. Like, if you couldn't train, what was happening inside of you that was so bad? Like, was it just purely a control thing, or is it like a fear thing, or is it like this is how I find my value? Like, why?
Well, like the question that changed it all for me was when someone asked me what would make you satisfied. Like, what race could you, like, because I was like describing how I felt after, like, anytime, winning a race or whatever, I would be, it would almost like make me more unsatisfied when I would win. And I was like, I don't really understand that. And they just basically were like, well, what do you need to do? Like, what's your goals? And I was like, well, to run faster and faster. And they were like, well, what if you set a world record? Would you be satisfied then? And I remember sitting back and going, because I thought I would be. And I remember sitting there and picturing myself doing that and like envisioning it very well. And and the feeling that came over me when I envisioned it was the exact same. I was like, absolutely not would I be satisfied. I would be miserable. And so what was driving me to try to do those things, I have no idea. Other than pride, other than what exactly the problem he's potentially working through. That was it for me. It was self-worship. It was just thinking that I could, maybe derive value. I don't know. It's just all I cared about.
So are you not racing now because you don't think you're capable of handling it well, or is there other reasons?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to worship that anymore.
And you don't think you could just dabble? You think it would be all or nothing?
I tried to dabble for years.
Fair.
That's part of the process of trying to, like, you think you're doing it. You're like, well, I'll just do this and I'll just back up and then go do it. Well, no, you have to cut it off. You have to literally kill it. Like, you can't just dabble with it and pretend and race. Well, I'll race every now and then. No.
I think that's the dangerous part about the health and wellness craze and culture that we're going through, is it's so celebrated. And I think a lot of people struggle with what your experience was. And I think I did the same thing a little bit, but it's so celebrated. People are like, well, don't stop running.
Yeah.
Well, don't stop dieting. Don't stop cold plunging.
Yeah.
Don't stop. But like, if it's taking over your life and you don't feel like yourself if you don't get to do X activity, or it ruins your day or week if you don't get to do X activity.
It didn't ruin my day. It felt as if, I wouldn't consciously think this, but it felt like I was going to die if I didn't.
Well, that would ruin your day.
Well, a little more than ruin your day. Like it would kill me. Like I can't. Something about this is is sustaining me. That's not true. That's not a good place to be. So I say all that to say that it can get to that. It can be that. If that is you, hopefully I've said a few things that could help you identify that, maybe. Well, then freaking cut it off, dude. I don't care what you're signed up for. Don't do it. But I'm not telling Drew that at all, because what it sounds like to me is he's got a buddy who you should listen to input from others, but it almost sounds to me like your buddy doesn't like that you missed a long bike ride, so he's trying to say this is a problem for you. Look, man, you really took what he said very serious, and I don't know what the relationship is you have with him, but you may be the type of dude, because I heard you say later on that you're considering what other people think of you. Like, you may be the type of dude who takes whatever somebody says, any comment somebody says, and is like, man, I've got it. Like, that must be me then.
Yeah.
That dude just said I had purple hair. Like, crap. I must have freaking purple hair then. I got to start dyeing my hair brown again. Like, dude, just because somebody says something don't mean you're being prideful about your races or worshiping it. Like, it don't mean that.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Now, if it's a close friend that you know and trust and he comes to you like, hey, man, you may want to consider these things. Okay, then stop and consider it. But I don't know, like that comment about, what other people may think and it's your close friend thinking you're too prideful. Like, well, he can be wrong, buddy. Like, you don't know what he's thinking about it or what he knows or what his motivation for saying that was. And I'm not questioning if he's but just because he said it don't mean it's true. And that's the other part of that I wanted to mention, but I don't know if that was even coherent.
I mean, I think that was good. And yeah, your friend could be wrong or he could be right, and you can just leave that there. And then also, I love what you said about, whether the friend is wrong or right, which it would be good to think about it and, maybe get a second opinion from another trusted friend and mentor, brother in Christ. But I like what you said about somebody could even make a passing comment like that to you, and maybe they're not even that serious about it, but you put too much emphasis on what other people think about you, and then it becomes a huge thing in your mind, right? So no, I think that's a great answer to that question, man.
And if Drew wants examples of, like, if he's like, well, man, can you even do this and in a healthy way and still maintain a good relationship, a healthy relationship with it, and still serve God with it? Like, his purpose of doing it is to grow closer to God and test his faith. Like, can you do that in a healthy manner? Yes. If you need examples of it, I gave you 4 in this room, in my opinion. Maybe Brooke has had times where she's not done it, but that's fine.
True.
But there's definitely times where she has. I've watched it. So, yes, there are examples of being able to do that in a healthy way, and there are examples of not, and that is me. So that's what I would say to you.
But you can dabble in pull-ups, just not running.
Yeah, I can. Well, that's a good example. I dabble in pull-ups all the time.
Arm wrestling.
I dabble in arm wrestling. I don't worship arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a really good answer to that question, I think, or at least a conversation around that question. Yeah, man. And here's the thing, if you're going to train for an Ironman or train for a 100-miler, like, also take this fact into consideration. Training for these things is going to cost something, right? Chili's talking about keeping that cost at a healthy level. But it's going to cost you something. And here's something you should consider. When you are endeavoring to do something out of the ordinary or extremely challenging, and other people around you see you endeavoring to do that thing, and they see you training, and they see that it's costing you something, that's going to look weird to them. Yeah. And they might not know how to react to that. They might see that as, that's just all he cares about, because they don't understand that. Like, No, I'm endeavoring to do something, and there's no way to do this without paying a price to be able to do it.
Can I ask, this might be a silly question, I haven't thought it through yet. If you're going out to these events and you're training for something with the intentions of winning, what else is driving you other than pride and selfishness?
I mean, well, a big one for me is just the competition, just the sake of competition.
What's the foundation of that, though?
It's the struggle. It's the struggle against other people.
So it's the growth that comes out of that struggle is what is not.
Yeah. It's just saying,
Like, that's what a race is there for,
like
to win.
I'm going to pit myself in here to see where I'm at against these other people. Like, I think competition is a healthy thing.
Yeah.
And there's something in the human makeup, at least some of us, that is drawn to competition. I can only speak for myself. The races that I have won, when I won, I was satisfied that I was the best person there that day. But I don't recall there being a lot of what you would characterize as pride around it. It was just, man, that was good competition. Like, holy smokes, that was hard. Like, it was hard to win that. And it felt good to be able to go through that hard thing and actually win. But it didn't make me feel like I was better than anybody else in terms of who I am as a human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it sounds like with so limited details, so really I probably shouldn't even say this with this limited details, but it sounds to me more of that case with this gentleman. Like, someone don't understand what training for something is.
They don't know what it looks like.
They don't know what it looks like.
That's such a foreign thing to people, man.
It sounds that way.
Like, whoa, like you're actually, you're dedicated to doing something like that? Like,
well, I think our family is like that with our level of exercise right now. They're like, oh, we can't start this because you got to get your workout in. You know, they think it's like selfish sometimes.
Well, and it sounds to me like his problem, I don't know, maybe the way he wrote that, if this was me, like looking at it, I go, be careful about how much weight you're putting at comments that people make too. I mean, he said this has been weighing on him for weeks, and maybe it's been weighing on him for weeks because there's a problem with internal. I don't know, but it like if it's just a comment somebody made, dude, anybody could say anything and derail you.
I think there's a tad bit of him though that's him also worried about it controlling him too. So my police mind says if you let people talk long enough, you sort of see the knobs turning in them on what could possibly be going on. And he says, I try my best to stay hyper aware of whether these races are controlling my life. And if they are, I pray about it and get back in line. That would lead me to say that
that's happened before?
That's happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you know,
maybe it does. That's a good point. I mean,
could be the case. Well, Drew, thank you for that question, man. Outstanding question.
I think that question, the way Chili answered it, you could insert so many things into the word running.
Lord, yeah.
And what you just described is like so helpful.
Yeah, that was awesome, Chili.
Yeah, like.
Thank you for finally contributing to the podcast and earning your keep around here.
That was great.
About freaking time.
I'd been wondering that too, though, so I'm glad to hear you talk about that.
You've been wondering what?
Why you wasn't running?
Oh.
We thought it was because you're neurodilophalus pulpitis.
I thought it because you just wanted to aggravate everybody.
That would be very on personality with him.
Yeah, that's Chili.
Yeah.
Well, Blake, we got some super chats.
Yeah, we do. We got Rob C. 1999 said CB needs to recognize the greatness of Johnny Cash.
Come on, dude. I ain't even going to forget you, Rob. Thanks for the super chat, though.
What about Merle
Now Merle's the business.
That's what I brought up the other day. No one ever mentioned Merle. I like Merle.
Merle's the business.
Mark Stoddard, $9.99. Glad to have Brooke back on Chad podcast.
Thanks, Mark.
Great job, ROP Team 6. See you Sunday night. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark Porter coming in at $49.99.
Dang.
He said
Lord.
he's over in Rome. He said hello from the Vatican. He said we stopped to see what a sovereign nation looks like, and they had about a 50-foot brick wall around it. Pope also stepped out and said hi to everyone. Sad to see so many people put their faith in a man. Keep spreading the truth. God bless.
Well, hey now.
I didn't think that Pope could walk. Wasn't he in a wheelchair?
Yeah.
He said he rolled out.
He's probably got a blood clot.
Did you see Joe Biden fist bump that World War II vet in the face the
I
other day?
saw that, dude.
See that?
It is horrific, man.
Really?
He literally fist bumps him on the cheek.
It is horrific.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Felony.
Thank you, Mark.
What a piece of freaking
Battery.
crap that
Yeah.
guy is, man.
Red Lightning coming in at $99.99.
Red
Whoa.
Good
Lightning.
night. I ain't never even heard of Red Lightning.
Wait,
Where did
whoa,
he come
not even
in?
good night.
Good night, Red Lightning. I ain't never where you come from, man.
Red Lightning.
He better be driving a muscle car, Red Lightning.
Yeah, for
He
real.
said that hat Chili has is awesome.
Well, thank you, Red Lightning. It's issued. Pensacola, Florida.
GI right there, boy.
Yeah.
Little Virgil come in at 99 cents. He put the emoji coin with the star in the middle.
There you go.
Thank you.
Virgil.
LV.
You know how I feel about that, LV.
Red Lightning coming in at 99 cents.
There you go.
Oh, man.
Red Lightning, I don't know if you know this or not. You might be new to the podcast. And I appreciate your other super chat, but we don't accept 99-cent super chats around here, right?
What?
Yeah, we don't accept those. So
Well, good thing this is a team, like you said earlier, and you're not the only one, and
So-
I veto you.
Red Lightning, you just canceled out your other $99
Whoa.
super chat
Oh, man.
by giving a 99-cent super chat and just crapping on me. So
Oh.
now you know.
We got Peter Hagstrom coming in at $49.99.
Oh,
Good
said-
night.
Hey guys, is there a correct order to read the Bible in? Thank you for what you do, and God bless.
There's no, you can read the Bible in whatever order you want. I started reading the Bible in the book of Matthew. You can start in the beginning too if you want.
Yeah, man.
Little Virgil's on here toying with you, boo.
Whoa.
I know he is. I know freaking LV. I'm gonna see him one day.
We had Clock and Floor. You know who Clock and Floor is?
Who is Clark?
He come in at $9.99. He said, "This is Timothy Webb."
What?
That's
Yep.
clock and floor.
Clock and Floor is Tim Webb.
Dang, son.
He said, "I sent an application for ROP September 27 to 29. Hopefully the date isn't full, and you'll have me back after letting the Team 6 down. Thank you all."
I'll tell you what, Timothy. September 27 through 29, come on out. You can come on out. Let's run it back.
You heard it. I always wondered who clock and floor was.
Dang.
We had Davy G come in at $49.99. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for all the wisdom, advice, guidance, and humor. Loving the new running hat. Will be repping it during my first marathon this fall. Quick question for Chad. What month did you join the USN in 2007? January 2007 for me.
Dang, I don't even remember what month I joined. It was wintertime because it was colder than a mess up in Great Lakes, Illinois. So, yeah, it would have been sometime wintertime. I can't remember back that far, buddy.
Thanks for your super chat, Davey.
Thank you, buddy.
Davey G coming back in at $4.99 said the guitar is legit. Start with the basic open major and minor chords combined with chord transition and strumming patterns.
Roger that, brother. I appreciate the info. I'm hiring somebody to teach me how to do that, though. I ain't trying to learn that. I don't even know what a chord is.
Are you for hire for swim training?
Yeah, $20,000 an hour.
Okay.
I'll get you swimming within an hour. It's gonna cost you 20 grand.
Manfred Kampf coming in at $20. He said, "This is the real Manfred. Florida Manfred receives my 3 of 7 merchandise until Chili sets up international shipping. 3 of 7 rules." So he's not actually from Florida.
Whoa.
That's just his hub for 3 of 7 merch.
Dang, son.
Whoa.
Dang, Manfred.
Whoa.
Thank you, Manfred.
I knew
Well,
it.
people are divulging some very secretive things on here today.
All kinds of stuff.
Wow.
I mean, on the show,
Well,
on the chat.
look at this. Chili Jr. $4.99. He said, "Sorry I wasn't here last week. Dad locked me up in the basement."
Gosh, not again.
Well, I wouldn't call it locked him in. I mean,
If he was strong enough, he could have got through.
exactly.
Willie Jenkins come in at $10. He said 5 for biscuit and 5 for the blood clot.
Thank you, Willie.
I've been calling him blood clot biscuit.
Gosh almighty. darn.
BCB.
BCB?
Oh, boy.
that's going to stick.
Patrick Rowe come in at 99¢ with a turd emoji.
Oh, well.
Yeah, Patrick, thank you for posting an image of yourself with that 99-cent super chat.
Got him.
Wow.
Jessica Dubois come in at $10.
Jessica!
Chap!
Is it Dubois or Dubois?
It's Dubois.
Dubois.
She's got French.
Okay. I got a story about Jessica real quick. All right, did she write anything?
Yeah,
What'd
she said,
write?
"You crewed me wonderfully during my and Brooks' 50K, Chad. The more you support, the better you serve. After all, Christ came in the form of a servant. Through his service, he led. Miss you guys."
Yes, thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, it's
and
Dubois.
so
The boys.
let me tell y'all a story about Jessica. Jessica and her husband Tim owned a house about 45 minutes from where we lived in Suffolk, Boo?
Yes.
And so Jessica and Tim had the internet because back then Tim liked to play video games. I don't know if he still does, but he had the high-speed internet. Where we lived in Suffolk, there was no internet. And so when this podcast first started, I used to have to drive to Jessica and Tim's house, and Tim let me use his video game room to record the podcast episode on his computer because they had internet.
This is in Virginia?
Yeah, so the first few episodes of this podcast were recorded at Jessica's house in Tim's video game room that I had to drive to because they had internet.
I didn't even think you lived in Virginia at the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Started the
did?
podcast when I was living in Virginia. The first podcast I don't know if it was the first one I recorded. Definitely the first one I recorded live was with Tim. Jessica's husband started a podcast a long time ago, and it was in his garage. He had set up his garage like a cigar bar. Tim liked cigars too, and we sat in there and recorded a podcast. I wish we could find the recording of that, man. That would be excellent.
We had Jacob Miller come in at $2 New Zealand dollars.
Whoa, that's a lot of money.
He said, "Hey, y'all, get that worldwide shipping up. Love y'all."
We love you too, Bubba.
Worldwide. Jacob.
Manfred Kampf coming in at his 10th super chat for $25.
Dang, Manfred.
Lord, Manfred.
Thank you, buddy.
We had Somewhere in Texas coming at $10. Everybody farts and poops in their pants. It's the last thing we do. Love y'all.
The last thing we do? Like
Yeah, when you die.
Love to all y'all. Checkered flag biscuit.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Is that true for real?
Yeah, you evacuate.
No.
Evacuate your bowels.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Have you ever seen when somebody dies? There's a mess everywhere. You don't want to walk in on nobody dead.
Turn it loose, son.
Are y'all being funny?
No, you turn that turd loose.
Yeah.
You always got a turd in your butt.
Wait, no, that's what I was about to say.
100% that's
What
true.
if you
You
don't
leak.
have a bowel ready? Then you don't.
You always
If you
got
don't-
a turd in your
No,
butt.
you leak.
I do not think
your
this.
bowel's
I think
always
y'all are
ready,
just
but-
messing with me.
No, seriously. Look
I
it up.
can't believe you don't know that because you're the poop queen.
Well, I don't like death and morbidity, you
Everybody's
know.
saying it's true.
You might also die with your pants off, though, so that's not a true statement.
Bearded Red, double alt, coming in at $5. Have to jump to a meeting. Glad to see Brooke on the call. Stay present. God bless.
Thank you, Bearded Red.
Thank you, Bearded Red. What is that, Chili?
Oh, yeah.
Let me see.
Keep going,
A
Blake.
lot of money.
Justin Milford, coming in at $10.
10
King
man.
of Yona.
Count 10 minutes in your head using steps as second in 100-degree heat while holding conversation and pouring into people. 10 man. Count to 10, man. I might have gotten close once or twice. LOL. Love y'all.
Old 10 man.
Good work, 10 man.
Garrick coming in at $49.99.
Good night.
Said, thank you to everyone that makes 3 of 7 Project work as a company. Our lives are better because all of you. It was great seeing everyone this weekend.
See you too, Garrett.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Garrick. Is Garrick
you,
signed up for a ROP course?
Another one?
I don't think so.
No.
We need to get Garrick out on a ROP course team.
Again?
Yeah, again.
Why?
Because I like hanging out with him.
Well, you tried to get him to this weekend.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he said he wanted to, but he said selfishly he was going to turn it down, or selflessly maybe turn it down because his wife
Yep.
needed to.
Yeah. Well, she was tough as a cob, I'll
She
tell you
was.
that.
She was tough
She
out
did
there,
awesome.
boy.
Matt came in at $9.99. Said, "Love you guys. Recently been learning about the Sons of Liberty. Any thoughts on the Sons of Liberty? Also buying a Kalashnikov KP9 next week. Good? Question mark.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Blake question.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good rifle. Yeah, I don't know. I personally don't know anything about the Sons of Liberty.
It's a rifle. They make good stuff.
Oh, are you? Hold on. Is he
Wait.
talking about the
Sons of Liberty Gun Works.
He's talking about the manufacturing, weapons manufacturing. Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought he was talking
Yeah,
about the
they
group
make-
in the
yeah.
Revolutionary War.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought that maybe they were making a comeback. Yeah, they make good rifles, man.
No, they did. They done crapped themselves.
We had Jeremy Lawson come in at $1.99, his first super chat.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Jeremy.
We had little Virgil come in with an ice cream cone emoji at 99 cents.
Wrong with eye cream.
Freaking little Virgil.
Jessica Du Bois coming in at $2.
Blake's,
Said,
Blake's just defiant.
Matthew 7:16-27, behavior matters, heart matters more.
Thank you, Jessica.
Timothy Heaps come in at $1.99.
Timmy Heaps.
I love all y'all.
Thank you, Timmy.
Yeah, we
love
love
you.
you too, Timmy.
Timmy Heaps come in at $1.99. Said, thanks for some thought-provoking conversations.
You're welcome, Timmy. Thanks for tuning in.
Marty Bingham at $19.99.
Well, Marty.
I'm back from the dark continent. I think we got everything straightened out down there. Africa should run smoothly now.
Outstanding. You're the man for the job, Marty.
Marty Bingham coming in at $9.99. But now I'm sick as a buzzard. Y'all are going to have to carry on without my weekly wisecrack.
Yep. Every time I went over there, I got sick.
James Wright coming in at $9.99.
Pipe dream.
All I can say is that Brooke said she would pay for
Don't tell him, Grizz.
my
Don't tell
fishing
him.
trip out of the goodness of her heart, and it made Chad mad. God bless her. Chilly as a pipe dream.
I wasn't going to share any of that. I don't know why he put that on public
I'm telling you,
knowledge.
people are divulging all kinds of stuff on here.
Crazy.
I mean,
Grizz is handicapped and elderly, and we should be able to pay for his fishing trip. That's all I'm going to
Something
say.
weird has happened.
yeah.
Grizz,
Like
you just-
we've entered an orbital or something
Yeah.
because everyone's divulging.
Yeah.
Gatekeeper coming in at $4.99. Mutual respect and understanding. Mind, body, and spirit. We mostly struggle against self to do right in each regard. It calls others to a standard.
Thank you,
Thank you,
PVVQ.
Gatekeeper.
Tyler Hannafin coming at $20. Thankful for you guys.
Grief, Tyler.
First
you,
super
Tyler.
chat.
Thank you. Good work this weekend, Tyler.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome.
Muscled Up Runner Greer coming in at $9.99. Amazing podcast. God bless and love y'all. proud of you today. Chili, I went through the same and totally understand. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you,
Greer.
Steve.
Steve.
Garrett coming in at $4.99. Thank you, Chili, for the answer. For me, it was cars.
Yep.
Yeah.
I get it. It can be anything.
Yeah.
Little Virgil come in with a black cat emoji at 99 cents.
Y'all know what that means, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For real.
Yeah.
It's got yellow eyes and a pink nose.
Yep.
That's what we was talking about.
Well, that's it.
Tennessee Pilgrim. I think this is Rocky.
Okay.
He come in at $3.07. He said, survived the wormhole, ROP 6.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Rocky.
Good work, Rocky.
You made it through.
Aaron Town come in at $49.99. He said, appreciate you guys, especially Blake.
There you go.
My wife, Cassie, was a part of the ROP this past
we love
weekend,
Cassie.
Yep.
and I couldn't be more proud of her. The ball's on her. What a beast. Love what you guys are doing.
I'll
Dang,
tell you
again
what.
with Cassie, tough as a cob. She had heat rash for half the day.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, I hope that went down.
Me
That
too.
mess got nasty.
Yeah.
For real. Dang, Kurt was telling her to scrape it off with a credit card.
What?
Yeah.
That mess
Sorry,
got
Blake.
rough.
Video in your ear.
TH come in at $4.99. He had this like emoji of this lemon head dancing next to a lime head.
Oh, that's my
That's
favorite
good.
emoji.
That's good. Thank
Sprite.
you, TH.
Yeah, that's a dang Sprite emoji, Blake.
Trevor Taylor coming at $4.99. What are y'all's thoughts on the Geneva Bible?
Geneva Bible. I don't know nothing
Well,
about
spelled
it.
Geneva, but I just read
Did
them
you
like
spell it wrong?
I just read them like they're written.
I don't know nothing about it. I'll have to research that, Trevor.
Tyler Hannafin come in at $20. Put this towards some new trail shoes for CB. Them Asics were leaning this past weekend.
Hey, son. Don't be hating on my
Got him, son.
Got them trail shoes leaning,
Hey,
boy.
son.
These dang Asics are brand spanking new, son.
Cornbread walking on the sides of his feet, man.
Have y'all ever shown YouTube Cornbread's legs?
Holy crap, Tyler.
Dad, boy.
They're freshly shaved, though. I can see them right now. Did you?
You didn't say that to my face, Tyler. You waited till dang Wednesday.
Hey, Cornbread must have shaved his legs last night fresh on kind of he know them swimming lessons was coming up.
No, that nasty swimming pool ate the hair off my legs.
We had Travis Van Ness come in at $9.99. Went up to the Boundary Waters in Minnesota this past weekend. You guys should check it out for a 3 of 7 team mission. Would be a great challenge.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty up there, man.
Thank you, Travis.
Manfred Kampf coming back in at $10. He said, you watch the pennies and the dollars take care of themselves. Look at 99 cents as a speck of Canadian gold.
Well, that's good, Manfred, but that ain't going to happen, Bubba. I
Matt.
take my gold in ounces.
We had Matt come in at $1.99. The
Matt who?
Sons of Liberty from the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Oh, that is what he was talking about.
Yeah. Told you, Blake, you don't know nothing
Well,
about
he
history.
said something about a gun, and he mentioned a gun company, and he put capitals as if
Is
it
that
was
a
a
gun
noun.
company?
Yeah.
The Sons of Liberty? Oh. Well, he was talking about the group, man.
Yeah, Blake don't know nothing about history. I
I don't
know.
even think that's the same guy.
Oh.
Well, it may not be.
Bunch
Thank
of
you, Matt.
dillweeds.
Well, anyway, they were just
Yeah, they were putting.
They was protesting.
They were putting letters around and
The
bricks
stamps.
and yeah.
Edward Williams come in at $20. He said, hello, all.
Hey, buddy.
We had Garrett Fab come in at $9.99.
Thank you, Garrett.
And that's the end.
all right.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Lord willing, we'll see y'all next week. Enough said.